Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Monica Coleman.
And I'm Alex Bell. Today, the Supreme Court issued its opinion in arguably one of the most consequential rulings in modern history, overturning Roe v. Wade and ending the constitutional right to an abortion.
The 5-4 decision is expected to lead to abortion bans in roughly half of the U.S. Take a look. More than half of the United States is now expected to ban most abortions. The states seen in orange are certain to ban abortion, and the states in yellow have something called trigger laws, where abortions are now banned effective immediately. Clinics in Louisiana are being told to shut down, and Planned Parenthood has suspended abortion services in Arizona. Some states are making it a felony, punishable with time in prison.
Now, with abortion rights in the hands of states, Governor Gov Newsom is taking actions to protect people seeking abortions and their providers. He signed the law just hours ago after the announcement. And political reporter Morgan Reiner is live at the Capitol, where, Morgan, this bill is effective immediately. What exactly is in it?
Newsom signed a bill that will protect women who get an abortion in California and health providers who provide an abortion in California from civil lawsuits if the lawsuit is based off of a law in another state. Now, the bill has an urgency clause, which means at the moment the governor signed it today, it is now law. The governor said he is worried that the National Republican Party is going to try and get rid of abortion rights on the federal level, in which case he says he's not sure how it's going to impact California's progress to try and enshrine the right to abortion in our state's constitution. And Newsom says he knows the Supreme Court is not going to stop at abortion rights.
They're coming after you next. Period. Full stop. This is not just about women. This is not just about choice. This is not just about reproductive freedom. They're coming after you next. And we haven't even gotten to trans rights in the 9 states that have banned trans girls from playing youth sports. They're coming after you next.
Justice Clarence Thomas did give a concurring opinion today, saying that he wants to revisit all the other cases dealing with the rights that we are given under the 14th Amendment. The specific cases he talks about deal with gay marriage and the right to contraception, but the rights that we have right now under the 14th Amendment go well beyond that. The right to decide how you want to raise your child, the right to decide not to get sterilized. Now, Governor Newsom says he wants everyone across the country to know that the doors to California are wide open, that the state has been preparing for a moment like this with 14 bills for a while. All 14 of those bills are moving forward. Seems like we're having some technical difficulties, but there are 14 different bills that are moving through the state capitol right now. The one you saw the governor sign today, which goes into effect immediately. The rest of them, though, the majority of them will go into effect as soon as January 1st. We have some bills, the one that will create a public-private partnership in order to help, for example, pay for women to come to California in order to get care. There's also the one that allows nurse practitioners with the proper training to provide an abortion if it's in the first trimester. Those are just several of the bills. The majority of them are to try and get more people to provide abortions, saying that even right here in California, there are large gaps in California where people cannot get an abortion. One of them will provide scholarships to people if they promise to provide abortions once they graduate. Now, in addition to interviewing the chair of the Women's Caucus, who says that she just can't believe this actually happened, I also interviewed a Republican Assembly member who said that he is happy with the decision. He says that people don't really fully understand that this isn't overturning an abortion right, but rather handing the decision back down to the states, and that in addition to not being pro-life because of religious reasons, he says that he is doing it strictly because he is a constitutionalist, so he will be voting no on all 14 of those bills. And shortly, coming up at 5 p.m., we're expected to see a huge protest here at the Capitol, so I will keep you updated on all of that and more.
Morgan Reiner, live at the Capitol. Thank you so much.
And since the decision came down, millions of Americans all over the country have taken to the streets in protest. These are images out of Philadelphia where thousands of people are taking part in a rally. This is just one of the many cities coming up. We'll have more from protests expected to happen in downtown Sacramento. But as you see, people filling the streets there protesting this unprecedented ruling.
And since the decision came down, millions of Americans all over the country have taken to the streets to protest. These are new images out of New York City and Boston where thousands of people are taking part in that rally. You can see people just completely flooding the streets. Now, the ruling is a win for anti-abortion groups like California's Right to Life League, who've sought to end the practice of abortions in the state and continue to try to make that happen.
And ABC 10's Giacomo Luca has their reaction tonight.
As abortion rights supporters and activists condemn the move, anti-abortion advocates are applauding the Supreme Court's far-reaching ruling overturning the landmark 1973 Roe v. Wade decision.
This is D-Day, Dobbs Day. Dobbs has now overruled Roe v. Wade. We are ecstatic and we are overjoyed.
Attorney Susan Swift is vice president for legal affairs at America's oldest pro-life identifying organization, the Right to Life League, which is based in California. It supports making abortion illegal in all circumstances. The group has long argued the former decision created a right never outlined in the Constitution.
Our Congress has never passed an abortion amendment. There is no right to abortion in the Constitution. That was made up by an activist court. They created it.
26 states have laws triggered by today's ruling or are likely to pass new laws restricting abortion. California is not one of them. Instead, state officials in the progressive stronghold have vowed to bolster abortion rights through proposed legislation, even a proposed amendment to the state constitution. Something Swift's group plans to fight.
Because California is going to be the pro-abortion sanctuary state for the entire nation. It's deplorable and it's despicable, but they are marching it through. And the only thing that'll fix it are elections.
The group says it'll continue to advocate for anti-abortion laws while supporting medical clinics and counseling centers that help women facing unplanned pregnancies but don't offer abortions.
A new study from UCLA says California could see up to 16,000 more people traveling to the state each year to seek abortion. Now that Roe versus Wade is overturned. That in addition to Californians who are getting abortions here, putting more strain on the reproductive health care system.
ABC 10's Becca Habegger looked at this report and what state leaders are doing to prepare for that influx.
I think there will be thousands and thousands of people coming to California.
UCLA law professor Carrie Franklin is faculty director of the Center on Reproductive Health, Law, and Policy, which released this report earlier this month saying if Roe versus Wade is overturned, as it now is, they anticipate anywhere from 8,000 to some 16,000 additional people traveling to California each year to get an abortion.
Which will undoubtedly put strains on our abortion healthcare system here in the state of California. Wait times are going to increase at clinics. Providers are going to be asked to provide more abortion care.
Jessica Pinkney is executive director of a California nonprofit called Access Reproductive Justice.
So we help pay for the procedure itself. We also help folks with transportation, lodging, child care.
Organizations like hers are poised to benefit from a bill that would create the Abortion Practical Support Fund, granting money to nonprofits that help pregnant people overcome barriers to accessing an abortion, including helping people coming from out of state.
It is true that access in California isn't as great as it should be, and that in the northern and western part of the states in particular, you may have to travel a long distance. But legislators and providers have been anticipating this for a long time. So there are programs already in place to expand the number of clinics, to increase funding for uncompensated care that's provided, to even provide transportation and hotels in some circumstances to meet the need.
And the need is great. More than half of the states have or will soon have restrictions or bans on abortions, forcing people living there who want an abortion to go elsewhere.
Fear is setting in for those worried about getting access to abortion services. That is especially true for those who are low income. ABC 10's Kurt Rivera has that story.
With the U.S. Supreme Court's sweeping decision, Planned Parenthood Marmonte is clear where it stands.
It's devastating. No other way to put it.
Marmonte is the largest Planned Parenthood affiliate in the country, with 35 health centers in California and northern Nevada serving the most patients each year. Sherry Grevin says they've been preparing for this day since the Trump administration took office.
So Planned Parenthood Marmonte has opened new health centers. We've expanded the footprint of current health centers to increase capacity. We've hired more abortion providers.
And they're expanding offices near airports, anticipating an influx of women flying in from other states banning abortion while expanding services for those who want it.
It won't impact our current patient flow so that patients that come to see us can still get their appointment in a timely way.
In 2017 in California, 40% of its counties had no clinics that provided abortions. Abortion advocates like Laura Jimenez of California Latinas for Reproductive Justice say the High Court's decision makes women seeking abortions more reluctant to move forward.
It makes people afraid, and so they back off from trying to access what they need in this moment.
Here on El Dorado Street in South Stockton, the nonprofit Black Women for Wellness put up this billboard behind me, reminding the public that abortion is still legal in California. And while Medi-Cal covers abortion services and most private health care plans also cover the procedure, advocates worry low-income women who don't qualify for Medi-Cal could be left without services.
And depending on how far along the woman is in her pregnancy, it could be a 2-day process. So funding will be very needed.